Hello again. Welcome back on my YouTube channel. I'm back again with another video. So I'm just gonna talk about why I stopped confronting people. Okay, obviously I'm gonna cover the fact that the people actually have a fear of confronting people, and in professional sense or in psychology they refer them as a conflict adverse. I don't know the pronunciation exactly, but it's a conflict adverse whereby people have a fear of confronting people in any manner, and that fear can cause by the fact that they're experiencing anxiety or experience anxiety sometimes. Even if still feel like I need to confront other things, I experience anxiety, I experience fear, we all do, we're humans. So the problem when people have who turn up to have a conflict adverse is because they suffer from about whatever issues. It can be a people's pleasing tendency. It can be ab- abandonment issues whereby you have fear of being alone, fear of being left alone, and whatsoever. And initially I won't say I had issue of confronting people because I used to confront them, but I did have an abandonment issues that I'm actually still working on. Still have like I'm healing, I'm like I don't have fear of being left alone like anymore. Initially I think I had a fear around family, but with friends I was okay with let them go exes, but it used to be painful just like any breakup. So I'm just gonna tell you why I stopped confronting people. Initially, I've always been a person who confront people, and I'm always about integrate. I'm always about being truthfully. I'm always being about fairness. So throughout my life, I've been doing that, confronting people, doing this and that. So initially, of course, I came across with a lot of people who are they're like wearing, I don't know what, but whenever you are speaking to them, it's like you are speaking to, I don't know how I'm gonna just refer them as, but you just feel like you're speaking to someone who's actually don't have comprehension to have a conservation that is actually have comprehension in order for you to have a productive conservation or any kind of conservation that has solution in whatever that you are actually dealing with. Because when you're confronting someone, what's the point of confronting someone who's actually don't have a comprehension of whatever they're doing is actually okay? What's the point of confronting someone who have a narcissist personality disorder, because that person is not willing to introspect, is not willing to do any kind of work. So whenever they're doing something wrong in their head, they believe other people deserve it. That's how they operate in their mind. It's how people actually what they deserve whatever that they are doing. They know it's because of their ego, they know because of whatever, they know the truth, but they always flip things up. So what's the point of doing that? So the reason I stopped confronting people, I think another thing that it make us to want to confront other people, especially if the truth is already out, or maybe you see the truth but you choose to sleep, is because you are not ready. Like you are not ready to listen, because the truth will always be the truth. It doesn't matter how long it takes for you to see that it's actually a truth, or you can tell it's a truth, just that initially, because we are wired in a weird way and we go through certain trauma that make us don't want to accept what is being brought for us, which is the truth. That's why sometimes whenever you're talking to someone and telling them the truth, some of them they want to beat the shit out of you. So yeah, so being confrontationally, it's very important to be in tune with yourself and reading the energy. So you can't just confront anyone for the sake of confronting. It's okay to confront people, don't get me wrong, but there's a time where you just know there's no need for you to confront this person. And for example, like you have a cheating partner, you know the partner is cheating. What are you exactly your confrontations about? Why are you confronting them? And I believe the reason why we do confront people is because we still want to try. We still want to try to be with them, whether it can be family member, it can be whoever. And sometimes confronting people, it gives us closures, but sometimes confronting people, it's because you are confronting them because you want them to lie. Some people want other people to lie to them because it's soothing. As there's a time whereby I actually came across some sort of a story online on Facebook whereby a woman, she was being talking about how, I don't know whether it was a husband or boyfriend. She mentioned that her partner is was cheating on her whatsoever, and then he didn't even deny, he didn't even lie in order to cover up. And I was like, what? I was like, what the hell? Like, he's telling you that yes, he cheated. Why do you want them to lie in order for you to feel better? What gonna what lying gonna help with? So I don't understand people who still operating from that mentality whereby they want other people to lie in order for them to be comfortable with the lies. Like, why are you confronting them? Why are you confronting? Why are you talking about it if you are okay with lies? I believe the reason why a lot of men and women, probably if you're in a bad relationship, or it can be a friendship whatsoever, it's because they are not used to be confrontationally. For example, your friend is doing you dirty, and then you stay, you don't even confront them, you act like nothing happened. And that is actually a people's pleasing tendency. So for example, if you know your friend is talking dirty whatsoever behind your back, and you had her talking dirty, probably you saw, or you had through a phone whatsoever, and then why do you choose to confront? Okay, why do you choose to act like it never happened? I think it has to do with issues of people pleasing, whereby you act like it never happened. For example, I I won't say I have like a issue of content of confrontation. Instead, I used to be the person who confront, but I actually started to be in tune with myself. So whenever I'm coming whenever I'm actually coming across people, I read this person. Can I actually have a conversation with this person about the issue that we're actually having, or should I just disappear on them? And then answer will be disappear, and I disappear. If I have to confront, I confront. For example, I just know when we're dealing with a cheating partner, especially those partners who deny everything. Like, you never, even if you have evidence whatsoever, I've never done that. Like, when I found out my partner is cheating, no ex of mine that I ever confronted about cheating. So what I did, I just move on. I just move forward. It's better to say move forward, because when I say move on, it's I act like I didn't feel pain. I act like no. It's just I move. I told myself, you know what? Okay, he's cheating, and that's a truth. It's painful. Okay, I get that, but I need to move forward, because what happened is when you confronting partner who's actually cheating, one, they're gonna tell you something like, I'm sorry, blah blah blah, like they didn't know what they were doing, which they did. Like, they knew what they were doing. Secondly, they're gonna blame it on you. Thirdly, like, they're not sorry. They're not sorry. They never been sorry. They will know what they were doing. They act like they didn't. we all know what we're doing. We all know of the consequences. There's no such a person doesn't know the consequences, unless if you are, I don't know, but even unless if you're a child, because only child realize that whatever they're doing doesn't have consequences. That's why most of the time when we're raising children, it's important to let them know that whatever things that they're actually doing, it has consequences. And consequences, it doesn't have to be negative consequences, it can be a positive consequences. For example, if you study, your result will improve. If you put effort in your studies, what is going to happen? You're going to improve. Your consequences is positive consequences. It doesn't always have to be a negative consequences, but you should make sure that they, whenever they're doing, they know whatever action they're doing, it has to be consequences, which is something we all do. Because whatever you're doing, it has consequences. Even if you ask, like, you apply for a job, it doesn't mean just because you got a job now you're only gonna sit not doing what is required for you to do. It has consequences. Even confrontation, it has consequences. One, are you ready to hear those the truth? Two, are you ready for being gaslighted? Because sometimes the people that you're confronting, they're not worth being confronted, so you just have to walk away. I remember confronting someone, and not that I confronted him, I was guided not to. So it happened, the person, it was actually someone or in the family, like it's a relative. I saw him in the dreams doing some weird stuff, and I just knew it's witchcraft. I just like, wow. I didn't confront him whatsoever. I just, like I always do, I just move away. The fact that I have to see you doing something like that in a dream or whenever, and I was like, you know what? I already knew that energetically we're just not vibrating. Like, from since I was young, so I used to avoid him in all manner. Like, I used to make sure that I make the conservation brief. I say what is important, and then I move away. Like, I've never like have a conservation to the point like I spend hours. I'm like, oh my god, the conservation. It just, I knew that this person is, and it is feeling off towards me, but obviously you're gonna be smiling, like, those fake as people. So when I saw how bad they can go, did I confront them? No. Like, I've never confronted people who do me dirty, but there was a time where I confronted my my toxic parents. So yeah, but I realized they always flip it. Like, they act like it never, like, you are crazy. Oh, you are crazy. So most of the time, whenever you're confronting people, they're not all people actually responsible. They don't take responsibility, don't take accountability of whatever action that they've done. They don't give a fuck. Not that they don't give a fuck. They just act like there was no consequences of whatever that they've done. They act like it never like you are crazy or something. Like, so whenever you're confronting someone, be aware of the fucking consequences of doing that. Because when you're confronting a partner that is actually lying, for example, I'm just gonna make an example from a movie. What's the name of the movie? Gosh, it had Whitney Austin, Lela, Angela, Bassett, something like that. I just wanna remember, whereby Lela was calling in the movie, in that scene, Lela was actually calling Whitney, the late Whitney, and he was telling that he's not bad into drugs, blah blah blah. And then the guy, the when Austin said, "Did you want him to say Did you want him to say, yes, I'm a drug addict?" They will never admit with that they're drug addict. Same thing with some serial cheaters, serial liars, serial manipulators. They will never like admit that they actually are a manipulative motherfucker. No, they're just gonna twist it up as if you are the wrong. you are the issue. You're gonna twist it up as if the issue is you. Like they always do that. So whenever you're confronting people, it's very important to see emotionally, mentally, is it something that is actually a pattern? Because manipulation is some sort of a pattern. Why always have need to manipulate other people in order to keep them in your life? Why do you need to manipulate people? Why do you have an issue? Why do you want to dominate every time? Why do you want to be a boss all the time? Why do you need to do that? So you need to understand, read them, like this person every time he has this kind of issue. They always want to be the, should I say a superstar? I don't know. No, superstar is a wrong term in this conservation. But they just always have to be about them, you know? So you just have to understand that if someone doesn't have every time you talk, like sometimes I find it weird when I'm actually. Have you ever watched 90 Days Fiance? Whereby Angel, I'm just gonna talk about this couple, Angel as well as Michael. I forgot Angela's last name, but she's actually, they have a 21 years old gap or in their relationship. I think they got married 2020. You know, the issue with them is what? Angela is the type of person, okay, she has issues with how she deliver her how she deliver she got issue with her deliverance. So most of the time, and Michael doesn't hear anything that she say. So their issue is based on Michael not being on her side. Michael is that type of person who's actually in between, wanting to do things like his family is doing, and like the things that have been done generationally. While Angela is not a generational person, she does things because how she believe she should be doing, because she listened to herself. But at the same time, she constant their issue is always based on one thing, like, is Michael not being on her side most of the time whenever they're around family. She always act like they're against her every time. So I'm like, why do we need to confront that? Why do you need, unless you want to stay? Because the pattern of being in a, the thing of being in a toxic relationship, it's a pattern, you know. So why do you need to confront someone that you know not in a single day they ever been honest, never show integrity, they never bring that kind of person who actually behave like they know the consequences? Why do you need to always confront that person? So being confrontational, it's okay, but at the same time you shouldn't do it just because you believe you should do it. You should do it unless you know the person that you are confronting is someone that is actually can be responsible, because confrontation, it has responsibility. Everything in this planet, it has responsibility. Whatever that you're doing is responsible. Mine is a responsibility. Relationship is a responsibility. um taking care of yourself is a responsibility. Anything is consists of responsibility. Your career is a fucking responsibility. Freedom itself, it's responsibility. Whatever that you do is fucking responsibility. Everything has responsibility. As same as being confrontational, confronting other people, it has a responsibility. It has consequences too. So whenever you're doing it, don't just do it with shallow people, people who don't have integrity in their spirit. They don't operate with that. They don't operate with honesty. Because sometimes you there was a time that I actually, not that I was confronting that girl, but she was draining my energy, because she was constantly telling me about her problems, blah 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 blah, and it was annoying. Because every time she was like, she had friends, blah blah blah. I have friends and shit, and I'm like, okay, you do have friends, I, but I don't see you as someone who actually have friends. You don't have friends. You know what that girl did? She almost bit me. I told her, like, you don't have friends. If you do, You wouldn't be this and that. You don't have friends because they don't know you. You don't have friends because you keep a lot of things within you because you don't trust your friend and you have a reason to not trust your friend. But even I saw you interacting with them. They're not good people. They're just people that you can go with in the clubs and whatsoever. Because at that time she was a club girl. She was out in and out. She was just everywhere out, you know. I was like, they don't consider them as a friend. And then little did I know, while I was talking, I was even not even aware of how she looked and whatsoever. And I saw next to me, and I was like, yeah, well, if I said another thing, I'm just gonna be beaten up for what? For being honest. So it has consequences. I'm like, some people, they hate honesty to the point that you have to deal with um whatever action that comes with. Some they wanna beat you. Some wanna flip everything. They want you to deny your own reality. They just not healthy to begin with. So whenever you're doing confrontation, make sure that you're doing with people who have integrity in their bones. Because a lot of people say, I'm the most honest person, and which they're not. Because it's something they are preaching that they're not embodied. It's something that they're not embodying. So it's something that they don't have in their gut, in their whatever. They just wishes. It's just wishes. You know those little boys and little girls who say I'm this, I'm that, and then I'm the real. I'm so real on the next thing. Like what? You know? So things like that. So yeah. So thank you guys for listening to me. Like I had a lot. I just wanna remember the movie though. Should I Google it? Okay. I think it's a 1996 movie with Angela Bassett and Lela, Winnie, whatever. So I try to remember it and the scene in it, because when you ask me addict, will the addict ever say I'm an addict? No. Unless I don't know what happened, but maybe if they're ready to be accountable, because they don't want to be accountable, so they say no. When someone say yes, I'm an addict, I agree that I'm an addict, it's because they are ready to be accountable. They know they have to do shadow work. They know they have to go within themselves to know what exactly made them to behave the way they are behaving, what it made them have some these kind of issues, you know. So when you're confronting a cheater, you should be ready for whatsoever. Not all cheaters are accountable, but again, in my own personal experience, if you ever cheated, I just never go. I just disappear. I don't even confront your ass. I'm just like, okay, bye. Even if you are okay. Thank you guys for liking, for sharing, for subscribing my YouTube channel, and thank you guys for donation. Like I really appreciate it. And Monday I'm just gonna do that. I've been feeling some type of way. So thank you. Bye.